Welcome to today's deep dive, where we're unpacking an ancient text, 1 Corinthians 9.19 through 27, alongside some modern reflections.
Yeah, we've got a really interesting one today.
We do. We're setting out to explore this very specific paradox about freedom, authenticity, and, well, adaptability. So here is the weird tension we are exploring for you today. Why is being a chameleon a brilliant survival skill in the jungle, but like the ultimate social taboo at a dinner party?
Well, it's funny because, look at how we treat it in nature. I mean, the chameleon survives by just seamlessly blending into whatever environment it's placed in.
Right, it's a survival mechanism.
Exactly. Its camouflage is ingenious because it protects itself by literally becoming one with its surroundings.
But if you take that exact same behavior and drop it into our hyperpolarized modern society, especially in anything like politics, being a social chameleon is a massive red flag.
Oh, for sure.
It means you're a flip-flopper. You just watch the room, change your stance depending on the audience, and basically have zero actual convictions.
Yeah. In a culture that really demands clear, unwavering positions, a chameleon quickly becomes trusted by no one.
Yeah.
And, validating that modern discomfort is exactly what makes the ancient text we're examining today so jarring.
Because we despise flip-floppers today, the Apostle Paul's confession in this letter sounds incredibly suspicious.
It really does.
He openly admits to being a chameleon. He writes that to the Jews he became as a Jew, to those under the law he became as one under the law, and to the weak he became weak.
Which is quite the statement.
Right, and just to clarify for anyone listening who maybe isn't deep into ancient theology, the law here meant strict Jewish religious and dietary codes. So he's saying he ate kosher with the strict rule followers, but then dropped those same rules when hanging out with the Greeks. He literally says, I have become all things to all people.
Which, on the surface, makes him sound like a political operative who will just say or do whatever gets him a vote.
Wait, but wouldn't it just validate everyone's suspicion that he has no actual core beliefs?
You think so, yeah.
Because the early church was already fracturing over these cultural rules. This sounds like a terrible PR strategy that would just make him an outsider to everyone.
Well, it does, until you look at the underlying engine driving his behavior. The sources point out this is entirely about motive.
Okay.
Paul wasn't adapting for personal popularity or wealth or, to avoid getting canceled. Look at verses 22 and 23. He explicitly states he does it for the sake of the gospel and that by all means I might save some.
So if he isn't changing colors to protect himself, and he isn't doing it to win a popularity contest, what's the payoff? Is it just pure altruism?
It's about using personal freedom for gospel-centered love, rather than self-centered comfort. He anchored his identity entirely in his overarching mission.
Wow. Okay.
Because he wasn't worried about his own social standing or protecting his cultural habits, he had the ultimate flexibility to step into someone else's shoes and relate to them on their terms.
But completely changing your social colors in every room you enter sounds exhausting and, frankly, risky. How do you do that without losing your own identity?
Well, that's where the text shifts to this really fascinating athlete analogy.
Oh, right.
The social flexibility Paul describes isn't a sign of a weak spine at all. It requires intense, focused discipline. Paul compares himself to a runner who exercises strict self-control.
Yeah, a runner dictates their diet, their sleep, and their daily routines just to win a perishable wreath, which is
a temporary Lisi trophy, basically.
Right. And Paul says he disciplines his body for an imperishable crown, making sure he isn't disqualified after preaching to others.
Exactly.
So if we map an athlete's physical discipline onto Paul's social discipline, it means he is intentionally giving up his own cultural preferences and comforts. Just like an athlete skips dessert to win a race, Paul skips his preferred way of doing things to build a bridge to someone else.
And that redefines what freedom actually means in this context. True freedom isn't just doing whatever you want or rigidly demanding that people come to your level. It's the disciplined flexibility to serve others. Doing the hard work of bridging cultural divides takes just as much training and self-denial as running a marathon.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? The sources challenge us to evaluate our own lives. Are you using your personal freedom just to protect your own comfort and seek society's approval?
Or are you using it to humbly serve the people around you? It really forces us to ask how our rigid preferences might actually be shutting the door on genuine human connection.
It really does. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder.
Yeah.
Think back to that master athlete Paul mentioned. If an elite athlete must constantly adapt their training environment, running at high altitudes, braving different climates, just to win a physical race, could it be that rigid, uncompromising behavior in our own lives is actually the fastest way to disqualify ourselves from truly connecting with other human beings?